I have rather peculiar choices for my countdown topics, shall we say, but when tackling a more conventional list, will my choices be just as quirky? Well, Wii Fit is in my top 10 favourite games of all time, and I don't really have a most hated character in gaming, so let's see how this goes with my most wanted Smash Bros. DLC characters. As much as I'd love the Elite Beat Agents or Mark Evans, no unfeasible characters for the 3DS to handle or third-party choices, even though they may be a possibility. Now, let's smash. Smash Bros. Newcomers are running out of new fighting styles. Bit of a bold statement, but this is why I welcome the outlandish Duck Hunt Duo or Wii Fit Trainer. But one fighting game staple that Smash Bros. Doesn't have is the Grappler. Now, this segment's lowest placing is because it's kind of cheating, because I'm not actually pinning down a specific character. I just like a grappler. Maybe someone from NES Pro Wrestling, though they'd have to be brought into the modern day. But the Wubba Wubba Wub is that true wrestler from Rhythm Heaven? He already is modern. Though it would leave a sour taste in the mouth because Chorus Kids was expected because of the Gamatsu leak in that and the cut Rhythm Heaven content. So if that doesn't pack enough punch, you could have Juan Aguacate from Guacamelee to represent Nintendo's strengthened indie game relationship, as shown by weekly eShop releases in the Humble Nimby Bundle. Unlikely with the idea of wrestling with fantasy, but I can dream, eh? And imagine how cool wrestling throw moves would be in Smash.
And his name is John C.
Rufus from Street Fighter and Bob from Tekken are often mocked for their size, there's no beating around the bush here. And when thinking who could be Nintendo's biggest fighter in the Smash Bros roster, no, you're too scaly, I mean wide big. I'm thinking more like King Hippo. A less technical, more powerful boxer with slow and strong smacks, food-based projectiles, and maybe even a King K. Rool inspired crown toss, and you've got yourself a radically different boxer and another Nintendo villain, which we need. On the subject of Punch-Out, I also had a wild dream about Doc Lewis being in Smash, and that'd do too. I'm not letting the Luchador wrestler idea go, am I? Hawlucha is a fighting and flying type Pokemon, very unique, that's why it's popular. Is Sakurai a huge fan of The Incredibles or something, as did not only his creations inspire Mr. Incredible and Smash Flash, but he also seems to say no to characters nowadays with capes. Except the Fire Emblem. Hawlucha could prove this statement wrong, as well as being the closest thing to getting Jack Black into Smash. Its gliding, signature moves and agility can take the wall jumping mechanic many are unaware that is actually in Smash Bros. To a whole new level. And yes, as much as I'd like Hawlucha in, its lowest placement is due to the fact that we would have roughly 1% of all Pokemon represented if we added a 7th rep into Smash, and Zelda would still be stuck with 4. Now, slight bias showing through her as my favourite Pokemon type, but it's a shame that the only current fighting type Pokemon in Smash plays more like a psychic type than a fighting type, and the only flying type Charizard can't even really fly anymore. Though, thinking about it, if Charizard can't fly with the new physics, then how can Hawlucha? Maybe think of him as a tiny Ridley with ground and air options. Oh, sorry Riddles. Aside from its mesh of east and west martial art moveset, just imagine how cool shiny Hawlucha would be in Smash. Oh, and I forgot to mention its final Smash. Sky Attack! Because the Smash Bros roster needs more intelligent system characters and playable marshmallows, we have Mallow from the 4 blocks, push mode, pull blocks, full mode. What the hell is this series called? Dragging blocks will be hard to translate into a moveset, but I'm sure if given the chance, Sakurai and his team could figure it out. Especially with all this emphasis on voting in the ballot, this character certainly isn't going to be rushed that they make. But hey, if they're really stuck, he's based on a sumo wrestler, the tiniest sumo wrestler I've ever seen, might I add. So that could even be part of the grappler character I wish for, as well as pushing. Mallow's had 4 games in 4 years, so I think his placement is certainly well deserved. And I've just realised, if you take away the puzzle elements, Pushmo is a game about a marshmallow who's a sumo wrestler who saves children. Only in Japan. I had to choose between the rather unfeasible Dr. Light from Big Brain Academy and Cranky Kong from the Donkey Kong franchise to reduce the amount of old men on this list, and well, it was a no-brainer. Eh? Eh? Nintendo's first ape can use moves from his classic DK days, upbeat balloons, and also go all Scrooge McDuck style with his cane. Remember how back in Brawl when everyone was so floaty and you could bounce off other people using Toon Links and Mr. Game & Watch's down A's? Well, I certainly do.
He really likes using that down A!
And it's a shame to see it go, but Cranky Kong could fit that role and base his own fighting style around it, and since Snake out the roster now, we sorely lack Smash Bros characters with beards, so why not? Though I haven't put him any higher, despite his more recent appearances than King K. Rool, Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, and at this point even he seem like more popular choices. In my opinion, a character from Masahiro Sakurai's game franchises deserves another representation in Smash Bros. And although I think 4 Kid Icarus reps is a bit too much, I believe the great 2010s Kirby Renaissance deserves another character. But outside the main 3 or a Waddle Dee, Hey! Only one-time characters come to mind, hence solo placement, but I've always wanted Principal from Kirby's Epic Yarn in Smash Bros. If you've played Epic Yarn, the moveset's already there. A moves, B moves, and how can you not have the Epic Tank Bot Final Smash? And I noticed a trend with this list in Nintendo. Mario, Link, Pikachu, they would have all had alternate forms for ages in Smash. And Nintendo's 5th biggest franchise is Kirby, so maybe young Kirby, anyone?
Shoryuken!
Since Brawl, I've been a strong advocate of having Mona from WarioWare into Smash Bros. She's a fighting female, has animal buddies, pizza, ice cream and music all to attack with. But as unique as that would be, recently playing through WarioWare GBA and touched on the Wii U Virtual Console reminds me how awesome of a choice 9V would be. Moveset potential are from his microgames, and his microgames are homage to Nintendo games. And Smash Bros is the ultimate Nintendo homage. Stay with me. So instead of having a Smash Bros character generally representing Nintendo in the roster, or Reggie, why not have a genuine character that represents all spectrums of Nintendo? He could be armed with Nintendo handhelds and have classic moves that aren't in movesets of their respective characters like Animal Crossing Fishing Rod or a Nintendo's Paw, or using those Rob discs, along with his trademark skateboarding as an insane dash. And even 18V or the infamous Mom could join him for his final Smash. Or heck, why not invite the whole cast of WarioWare, who are criminally underrepresented in Smash Bros, might I add, considering the amount of games they've had in the franchise. Except Wario Man, of course.
Shoryuken!
Isabelle. Isabelle is the true mayor of Animal Crossing. Who looked after the town when the villager went to Smash? Had to be Isabelle. Who has her own 3DS themes, hotly anticipated amiibo, playable in Mario Kart 8, manga appearance, Twitter account, and Monster Hunter skin in 2 to 3 years. Only Isabelle. Oh wait, yeah, she's an assist trophy.
That's a shame, she was really nice.
Damn, that would have been the basis for a moveset. Welp, better go with Nintendog instead for another playable. Ah, for the love of Poochie.
Shoryuken!
If I was Sakurai, and he might just have this, I would have a hypothetical criteria for DLC characters. 1. They must sell well, so must be a popular, recent character. 2. Either a unique fighting style or be similar to pre-existing characters to be made under a restricted time and resource budget. Ideally a mix of both, and be from a variety of franchises. And Daisy fits that bill. Yes, our 10th Mario character, but proportionally the Mario series has more games than many titles in Smash Bros combined. If you took away Mario, would Nintendo really be what it was today? Who knows, Disney might have even sued Nintendo for Link, Peter Pan, you know. She's similar to the other Nintendo princesses, but has her own fiery persona. Mario Sports Series especially emphasises this, but she can also use her own custom kart from Mario Kart DS, Flower Power or Olympic moves to further represent the sheer diversity of the Mario franchise. And being from the Mario franchise, she'll sell, I can assure you that. She has her own cruise and kingdom to pull moveset potential from. And aside that, just make sure she has this as a taunt, or a stage entrance. And then this as a final smash.
Shoryuken!
One series I'm surprised only got a trophy and a song in Smash 4 was Nintendo Land. It's a Nintendo crossover in a Nintendo crossover, what's not to love? And I want a Nintendo Land stage desperately, but what would increase the chances of this happening? Maybe Manita is a playable character? I know it's far, far, far out there. So far it's in far, far away. But Manita could be the 9V mix of Nintendo moves I mentioned and more. A moves were one-hand in that. Standard B utilising the ninja stars and bombs from Takamura's Ninja Castle. Side B robotic Yoshis that will chase the opponent and explode on impact. General gliding ability is an up B, and maybe summoning a random supporting me to do some Pikmin adventure head smashing. Maybe even throwing some Animal Crossing Candy Luigi's Ghost up. F-Zero exploding spiky things, or even Yoshi's fruit for some reason that Yoshi emits from their moveset. And because they're their own theme park incarnation, the enemies could also be part of the moveset as they're not the actual enemies from the games, if you catch my drift. She could use the attraction train for a showpiece final smash. And although she's a very attentive host, her fidgeting could be her taunt animations. And she's British! At least in Britain, where she ticks the box of a robot pal for Robin Smash. She is another female character, represents the Wii U and Nintendo as a whole, can be always hovering, yet be a quick light hitter who relies on Nintendo attraction animatronics for killing potential. So, you know, a summoner type character. And guess what? Smash doesn't have that. Just avoid Octopus Dance at all costs in the moveset, please. Okay, thanks, bye. Thank you for watching my top 10 most wanted Smash Bros DLC characters. If you are not one of the thousands of people who have already made this video already, or even if you are, feel free to let me know of your most wanted DLC characters down below. Here on screen right now you can see my Smash Bros roster from July 2013 for us all to laugh at. As the end slate plugs of the World Cup of Brawl 2013 and my last countdown top 5 least favourite Mario Kart tracks slowly appear. Just look how small this roster is. But hey, look, there's Manita, number 1, eh? Eh? And I was right about Wolf getting the chop and the Ice Climbers, so come on, give me that. And Morrow's in the game too, so I got that right. And Palutena, and at least Takamaro was planned to be playable before he was made an assist trophy, so hey, I'm not that far off. Little McBell's Jr. and Shulker there as well. And Mewtwo, I guess. But let's not talk about Groose. Or Chrom. Or Ridley. Or Snake, who I cut and then put back in my roster. I also remember the time I made this roster, I was thinking, Animal Crossing is huge now, and it's even bigger today with like 2 upcoming games, even though we don't really want them. So I was thinking of putting Isabelle in here, and well, that's kind of why I put her on the list still, even though she's an assist trophy. It was to please 2013 me. And now I sound like one of those people who really love Isabelle. So let's move on. Oh yeah, one last thing I want to go. Credits, just go away. Top 12 Nintendo Land attractions, Manita. I used a lot of footage from that. It's actually a collab of mine from a while back with SpongeBob93. Go watch it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Next countdown in September. See you there.